If you've done therapy with me, you know that I have a little bit of a love affair with words. My name is Sierra Lusby. I am a trauma therapist. I have helped tons of people heal from years of trauma. I want to talk about words with you today and a little bit about how the English language limits our understanding of emotions. I am reading a book right now, and it's called The Language of Emotions by Carla McLaren. My therapist recommended that I read it, and I'm so glad that they did because it has been a really helpful, reinvigorating book to read just to remind me of the things that I already knew about emotions, but using different words to help communicate that to my clients. So, something that she notes in the book is that the English language only has four words to describe two emotions at once or more than one emotion at once. Four words in all of the English language, in all of the words that we have created in all of this time, only four of them describe dichotomous or multiple feelings at once. She lists those as ambivalence, bittersweet, gloating, and nostalgic. Think about it. There's no other word that explains when you're feeling two things or multiple feelings at once. Okay. She goes on further to note, and I love this, that ambivalence means both valences, right? So ambivalence as a definition is more than, you know, one or two sort of competing feelings happening at the same time, right? So what this implies is that in the way that we use the word ambivalence is that feeling a negatively valenced emotion with alongside a positively valenced emotion, it makes you unable to think. It makes you unable to make decisions clearly, right? That's what we're saying about experiencing two feelings at once. That's the best word we have for it. And it means that it implies that you are not going to be able to function well when you are experiencing two feelings or more than one feeling at once, which we do every day. You're probably doing it right now as you're watching this video and doing whatever else you're doing, right? You're probably feeling more than one feeling at once. Another thing that I like to teach my clients is that most romantic languages, when they're talking about emotional states, they use the words, I have sadness, I have joy, I have despair, versus the English language, we say, I am sad, I am in despair, I am happy. We are labeling ourselves as the emotion, which is like kind of long term and stagnant, right? Versus these other romantic languages, they're saying, I'm having sadness. I am right now having sadness, right? That is not who I am. I'm not identifying with my sadness. I am experiencing my sadness. And those little words matter. They truly do. I see it all the time in therapy when we start changing the nuance in how we talk about ourselves or how we think about ourselves, that it changes our emotional relationship with ourselves or our emotional relationship with others. Think about how the words that we use when we're speaking to others make such a big difference. This is where we get into like communication these days, text messaging versus talking in person versus talking on FaceTime while you're doing something else, right? All the multitasking that we're doing, the lack of attention that we're giving to language, the fact that we lose control of our language when our phone does autocorrect on our text messages and things can get really messy really fast. I know that if you think about it, you can pull up at least one recent memory where your phone auto-corrected something and you did not communicate what you meant to communicate. Or I know that there's been a time, it happened to me earlier today. I was multitasking. I was trying to do two things and I misunderstood something that my friend was telling me. Thankfully, it wasn't at work. It was just during the day because I wasn't paying attention. And I said the wrong thing. I responded with the wrong word, right? So, how many times are we accidentally doing that in our day? And how much is that interfering with our ability to communicate and connect with other people? When all of this is gone, all that's going to matter is our connection with people, right? So, we ought to start investing in the words that are coming out of our mouth. I remember back in the day when like instant messaging first started and you had to get on dial-up internet and nobody could be on the phone when you were on AIM chatting with your pals. I think my name was Plays with Squirrels. Yep. While I was chatting, I was using LOL because LOL was a quicker way to communicate, in my eyes, lots of love, right? And I thought, what a quick way, what an efficient way to communicate that I care about a person, right? Or that I appreciate the person and what they're doing. And after a while, finally somebody was like, Sierra, why when I say something nice or serious are you laughing? And I was like, what do you mean I'm laughing? And they were telling me you say LOL, lots of laugh. And I was like, oh. I thought LOL meant lots of love. I was telling you how much I loved you. I was telling you how much I love what you were talking about. I miscommunicated that to a lot of people, right? And so, with our rapidly evolving and changing slang and word uh, abbreviations these days, we have to stay on top of it. We have to consider, do we know what we're abbreviating? Do we know what we're typing? Are we reading our text messages before we push send? Are we moving that quickly through this world that we're not reading our messages before we push send? Wow, we probably would benefit from slowing down, right? And considering, what words did I choose in this text message? And based on that person and what I know about them, how are they going to receive those words? And is my true emotional intention in communicating this to this person, is that being heard? Is that going to be relayed through these words? Something I do a lot in my therapy sessions is that I'll have people break down their own definition of words that they're using, whether that's like a clinical term. We see a lot with all of the TikTok self treatment these days. We see a lot of people misusing a lot of clinical terms like bipolar or gaslighting or boundaries, all these like clickbait words. A lot of people are misusing them, and that's pretty problematic. So I'm constantly slowing down in therapy and telling people, hold on, let's think about that. What is your definition of gaslighting? What context are you using that in? Right? And sometimes I will pull up Webster, Merriam-Webster dictionary.com, and I will read out loud definition of words to people, because I think sometimes words get junky over time. They develop new meanings. And there's even times when I'm with a client and I'll say, okay, we're obliterating that word. That word doesn't exist anymore. It's too junky. It's too tainted. That word has been ruined for us. It no longer means what it's supposed to mean anymore because of the context and trauma around it in our life, right? So what we'll do is we'll get creative and we'll come up with a new word. And then we'll replace that old word with the new word, right? And that can be transformative because our brain associates so much with the words that we're saying. Our brain pulls up memories and instances as we're saying the words that we're saying, right? So if our brain, when we say a word, is pulling up trauma and really difficult, uncomfortable experiences and negative beliefs about ourselves, then what we probably need to do is create a new word with a new neural pathway that is more adaptive for us, that makes us feel more confident, that makes us feel less fragmented, right? So many people come to me feeling fragmented, feeling like they've broken into a million pieces because of their lived experiences. Their relationship to themselves is fragmented and their relationship to the world is fragmented, right? So in therapy, our goal is to integrate, defragment, unfragment. I just said I was a wordsmith and I don't know. We're going to invent that word, defragment. We're going to defragment in therapy. We're going to become more whole, right? More integrated, more cohesive. And so much of that involves the words that we're choosing to use with ourselves and with others. I hope this helps.